Basketball fans are watching a competitive playoff run for some of the NBA's top teams. Increasingly, we've seen NBA stars taking their skills beyond the sport and into the business world. That includes two-time NBA All-Star Baron Davis, who has made a name for himself as an innovative investor with an understanding of everything from startup investing to crowdfunding campaigns. Davis is now exploring some of those themes as host of the program Going Public, a reality series that profiles emerging companies seeking to raise capital. And he joins us now to talk more about the world of investing. Baron, great to have you with us. And for those who are curious, when did you first start thinking about investing? Was that something that you were already thinking about during your playing days?
Yeah, I think, early in my career, I was looking at the marketing deals or, the companies that were signing athletes to marketing deals. And I wanted to study them and figure out like how big those companies were, how they were growing, because it was, a direct impact on, the space I was in. So playing in the NBA, you get introduced to so many different companies and so many different brands. I just became really interested in seeing, how can I use my voice and my brand to align myself with an entrepreneur that I think is, worthy of the connections, right? And some of the insight that I would have as an NBA player.
And I think what's interesting about your post-playing day career is that while you have been an investor, you have thought a lot about the ways by which capital is raised. What have you learned about that? Things like crowdfunding, campaigns, and why has that been of particular interest to you?
Well, I think for me, just kind of going out, investing in a few companies myself, and then learning, through SPVs and then, from crowdfunding platforms, and that's a big part of what Going Public is, a show that's introducing entrepreneurs, but giving them the opportunity, the viewer to click to invest, right? And so, crowdfunding became, a hot commodity, and looking at some of these new startups and, some of these new innovators. And so for me, the company that I'm building, Business Inside the Game, you look at capital, and a lot of these entrepreneurs, whether they're women, whether they're people of color, they always have a hard time raising the capital, right? And so a big part of, our company, Business Inside the Game, is helping people figure out where that right alignment is, right? And so a show like Going Public, I was happy to host because you have, amazing founders, right, that are revenue generating companies, and, just being able to sit down with them, and have a show where people can get to know the founders throughout the course of the season and always have an opportunity to support them. That was something that I wanted to explore. And, I'm really excited about the show, about the partnership, Crush Capital. It was just a great idea that I wanted to be a part of. I felt like it was cutting edge.
And some of those companies could end up going public. Sometimes companies that you invest in are acquired before they can even think about going public by big public companies. One of the ones that stands out is Vitamin Water. You invested in that business. Coca-Cola ended up acquiring that business. For those who maybe aren't familiar with that journey, and you talked about as a player getting introduced to a lot of different business ideas, how did that one come together?
That came together based on a relationship with a marketing person. So when I decided to be my own agent, I knew that I wanted to be in content. I wanted to be a creative, and that was the brand that I wanted to project while I was playing in the NBA. I wanted to make movies, make TV shows, documentaries. And so my marketing guy that was at Sprite at the time, he was leaving, going to Vitamin Water. And so I start really just inquiring about his job. Why was he leaving? Why would you leave a big company like that to go to a small company? And, really just kind of got a good education on, what a startup company was first. And then for me, it was an opportunity to go and sign with a startup company and be a part of their marketing, be a part of the infrastructure where I could have a voice, and then I could learn how to be, a creative and a marketing person. And so, with that now, just kind of building big, it's allowing me to help the entrepreneur, the athlete, the investor, uh, find the right connection, right? And be able to create the right content around that for the entrepreneur, but most importantly for, where people want to learn, right? And, I just learned that from Vitamin Water. And so just took a chance on myself to learn and thought it would be a cool way of like being an internship. And it worked out pretty good for me.
No kidding. Betting on yourself, betting on these other entrepreneurs, and a lot to watch on going public. If you could leave our audience with one of the biggest lessons, since you've now had the opportunity to have so many business ideas coming your way, what is one of the biggest lessons you've learned on what makes sense as an investor, especially when we're talking about earlier stage businesses?
Well, I think doing your due diligence, right, and making sure that who are the other investors and the people interested. If that entrepreneur is someone that is, like has lived and experienced the space and is an expert or building something to fix in the space. And then I would say the third thing, is to always think about, your community and the people around you. Who are the people that may buy this product? Who are the other people that can invest in this product? And so, you look at a show like Going Public, Celine Automotive, right? You look at, I compare them to like a Maybach or a Ferrari, right? Celine has been in the business for a long time, in the auto racing business and also in the car design business and manufacturing. And so, me as, someone who I don't love cars, right? But I understand that, I understand like Formula One racing. I enjoy the events. And so as an investor, for me, it can be an investment into a brand that I root for. That's a luxury, right? Or it can be, as an institutional investor, a company, where, Steve Saleen is an expert in the space. He's won races, right? And now I know that Celine has the opportunity to go public or have more runway. So I think all of these kind of ideas kind of blend to how do you help the entrepreneur, how do you invest in the entrepreneur, and now with all these different platforms, especially going public, this show, which is so cool, it just features a good look into all the fun things of getting to know an entrepreneur. And it allows you to, almost have like due diligence as media.